Hello. Hello, I'm Graham Hughes. Welcome to Stateside with me and Mikey Famine. Yes, you might notice that Mikey's not here yet. He is. I mean, his camera's on, but he's got a couple of things to organise. In the meantime, you just got me. So if you'd like to join in the chat on the side of the screen here, just hit the subscribe button and that will get you onto the show in a way, because you'll be able to write things and they'll pop up on the screen over there. We've got a big hello going out to David and Sarah and Plum Duff there and Tripod 9000. We've got Simon Smith in there as well. Peter said, advert, shat myself. That's a terrible advert. Perhaps the rapture got Mickey. No, Mikey, sorry. He is there. He's got some family stuff to sort out, and then he's going to join us. So his camera's actually on. But we are going to be talking today about a few things to do with Donald Trump, unfortunately, and Elon Musk. And oh my God, they're crazy. One of the things that I want to talk about first, and I'll talk about this before Mikey comes on, there is just the maddest thing. If you've not heard about this yet, it involves Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma is deep south. It's Oklahoma. People from Oklahoma, generally called Okies, not homies, which I think they've missed a trick on that one. Puninator, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. Hold that thought. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. That's got all over my face, that super chat. Like that. Just splashed all over my face. If I had a nickel for this past week where one of Graham's streams were delayed, stroke disrupted due to a guest not being ready, whose name starts with Mike, I'll have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. Weird, it happened twice. Yes, it did. I'm sure Ollie will be on time tomorrow, as long as he doesn't forget. There was one week when Ollie forgot about Geoscope, and then there was another week where literally I forgot about Geoscope. We've got me move the time, I should say. Anyway, so Steve Martin says, hi, Graham and me. Hi, Steve. Love you in Only Eat Murders in the Building. And The Jerk. And Little Shop of Horrors, where you played the dentist. Okay, so you must get that a lot. Anyway, Bibles, right? So Oklahoma, right? They have mandated that there needs to be a copy of the Bible, not just in every school library in Oklahoma, but there has to be a Bible in every history class and every science class. I think it's like 2 different classes. English literature. Every English lit class and every history class in every state school in Oklahoma has to have the Bible. But not just any Bible. Mikey, are you there? Can you hear me? Can Mikey hear me?
I am with you.
Oh, you are with me? Okay, well, I'll disappear. Well, I won't. I'll just go smaller. There he is. I told you he was here. I'm just telling the folks at home about Oklahoma and the Bibles in Oklahoma. Don't spoil the punchline if you've already heard about this. Have you heard about the Bible scam?
What? No, tell me more.
Okay, so as a result, the state of Oklahoma needs to have 55,000 Bibles bought. It needs to buy 55,000 Bibles, which it's using $6 million worth of taxpayers' money. Oklahoma taxpayers. They are paying this, right? $6 million. This is in a state where the schools don't have enough money to feed kids who are starving in their classes, okay? But they've got enough money to put $6 million aside to buy 55,000 Bibles, and they can't just buy any Bible. They can't, just get them donated by the Gideons who put the Bibles in the drawers next to the bed.
I thought the churches were tax exempt. For just such a purpose.
Well, maybe, but they
for donations and stuff.
By law, they have to now have a Bible. A Bible. A Bible, not just in every classroom, but in every history and every English lit class. So that means 55,000 for the entire state.
They need one for the music room too.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, but they can't just have any old Bible, Mikey. They have to have a Bible that also includes the US Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the words to the national anthem or something. And did you know there's only one, and it has to be bound in leather and it has to have gold lettering on the front. So can you guess who makes the only Bible that fulfills all the requirements of the Oklahoma School Board's requirement to have a Bible in every history
Easy.
and English lit class.
Easy. Midas. Next question.
Nope. Donald Trump.
Ah.
You have to buy Donald Trump's Bible, which retails for $60 each. $60.
What a deal.
For a book.
What a savings.
That no one can get copyright on it, can they? Yeah, you could be able to. You can buy Bibles for about $2 on Amazon, but no, they've made it so that they've made it law that all these schools. Well, it's not in the schools that pay for them; it's the taxpayer. The taxpayers of Oklahoma have to buy these Trump Bibles.
No, even better, the atheists in Oklahoma have to pay for them, and the Muslims,
yes,
and
the Jews,
the
Hindus,
and
the Sikhs,
they all have
the
to
Zoroastrians,
pay
the Native Americans who couldn't give a flying fuck through a rolling donut about Christianity. They have to pay for it as well.
Yeah, it's their money.
China.
And they get to. So this is elections have consequences, people.
Yes.
So stop electing stupid people.
Well, we've seen it. So did you see?
Or
see?
Lock them up when they do bad things.
Did you see the Trump rally over the weekend with Elon Musk?
How could I miss this blockbuster kick off the fall event? Wow, everyone was there. Literally just those two, and then a bunch of. I like how they were saying it was more people there than the Super Bowl, and I was like, "You don't know what a Super Bowl is."
There was more people than the Super Bowl. All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that just goes to show you don't know what a Super Bowl is.
So
use the word in a sentence if you know so much.
It was so cringe. I actually put my back out cringing so hard at Elon Musk doing these weird little half jumps. He did these little bunny hops around Trump.
Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, remember that cage fight still might be in the cards, so you look out. Your little taekwondo will help you from the leaping blob panda.
Okay, how much of a weirdo do you have to be to make Mark Zuckerberg look relatively normal in comparison?
Yeah, Mark's looking like Vin Diesel over there compared to Winnie the Pooh. Elon's giving off that real Xi Jinping energy. You know what I mean? It
is just the most cringe-worthy. I don't know. And he came out, and this is Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, and he's also now just stolen the handle @America, which a Twitter user has had for years, and they just took it off him.
Oh,
no compensation.
Well,
we need this, and they're using it to promote Trump.
I'm eminent domaining this.
And he called himself Dark MAGA. MAGA. So leaning into the whole we're going to destroy the world sort of thing.
Now we're edgy. We're edgy teen boys on AOL saying mean things to people. Aren't we so cool again? We're the edgelords. We're the kids screaming at the top of their lungs at every single gaming lobby that happens to exist on the planet. Like, we already know about these kinds of people. They're annoying.
Yeah.
Really.
They're not
really
cool,
annoying.
Are they? Yeah.
No. You know what else they are? They're fucking weird. And guess what? Your whole job, Donald Trump, was to shut your mouth after Biden left and not be weird. Bingo, baby.
But it's not really made much of a difference. Like, his supporters still support him no matter what. I was watching interviews
today.
Still
hawking all these new products, all that massive support he's got.
I was watching some interviews today in, I think it was Pennsylvania, and they were interviewing Hispanic voters. And there was a guy saying, well, you know, I'm not going to invite him to my wedding, and I'm not going to invite him to my kid's birthday party, but I'm still going to vote for him. And I'm like, I'm not inviting this guy to me kid's party because, you know, he's weird and he'll make the whole thing crap. But I'll give him the nuclear codes. Anyway, Yoni, thank you.
If I can't trust you with my dog, you're not getting my vote.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I think about it. Yoni, €2 super chat. Thank you very much. A Bible quoting the separation of church and state. Yes, that's literally in there. And the second one, Puninator. Have you read Trump's Bible? I heard it features himself in the last chapter. Oh my God. It wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, so going back to Musk, he announced he was Dark MAGA, and he said that if Trump doesn't win, then that's the end of democracy in America. which is ironic because if he does win, that's actually the end of democracy in America. But I've heard this before. Do you remember? This is a few years ago, so I mean, dates might have just got lost in the mists of time, whatever. But do you remember January the 6th, 2020? Do you remember that date? I don't know if anything special happened on it, but I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump said to a crowd of people before they stormed your Parliament building in America, he said, you got to fight like hell, because if you don't, you won't have a country anymore. Those were the words he used. You won't have a country anymore. So my question to you, Mikey, is America still there? Like, I haven't checked.
So here's the thing. People are loud. People are very loud. And idiot news corporations are very good at amplifying stupid people.
Yes.
Bro, you're going to jail. I don't care what y'all think is about to happen with all this election. First of all, he's going to lose the election. I don't care what the polls say. He's going to lose. He's doing horribly. If he had all this support, then he wouldn't be begging for $60 for a friggin' book. And if he was a rich person, he would have funded his own campaign by now, and he wouldn't be prostrating himself.
I don't think it was
Elon.
That he needed the money for this Bible scam. It was the governor of Oklahoma just wants to be on his administration.
Right, but he made the Bible in the first place.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the Oklahoma guy.
It's all a grift.
He's all licking his... Yeah, he's trying to get cash because he owes, let's not forget, $540 million. This dude is flat friggin' broke. He is hurting for cash. All of this is just, oh, who can I get on stage to get some more money? Oh, who can I get? Oh, who's next? Come on, I gotta find somebody. And look, you know Elon loves to try to look human in large groups. And he jumped out with his little weird Jim Carrey ass. And yeah, this ain't nobody worried about them. they are barely keeping their head above water. And we spoke before this stream, and you were like, there's no October surprises. I got some October surprises for you.
Go on. Not bowl me over with your October surprises. I'm excited.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but there was a category 1 million hurricane that hit the swing states in the South. I call that I'm using that as the first half of my October surprise.
There's another one on the way. It's Category 5 now. Category 5 hurricane barreling down on Tampa in Florida.
So Kamala went boots on the ground, which was a kind of unexpected. I expected her to punt it and just be like, oh, well, I don't want to upset everybody with what they're doing down there, because it is a big deal when the VP or president comes around. They got to shut down all the roads. Well, luckily for them, the roads are all flooded. So, and the cleanup is going so well that they had the staff to facilitate a head of state coming. So the fact that she was able to get down there and the governor say, yeah, come on down, we're good. That is the contrary to what the other ticket is saying, which is that the Democrats are withholding the aid and they're not saving people in Republican areas. And they kept on.
It's better than that. That they're taking money away from these areas that need that disaster relief and giving it to illegal migrants, which is pretty much what Trump did. Literally what Trump did.
Yeah, that's his thing. That's his thing. But we're doing his thing.
This is no ordinary lie. This is a Trump lie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So now the Republican governors down there and county officials have had to make public statements against their own party now because Trump's just lying.
Yeah,
he's just lying.
He's just a one-man lie machine.
He's just like screw it. I know
lie straight in bed.
I know FEMA's been down there since a week before it got done. There's the other lie is that the people are only going to get $750. That's all you get. No, FEMA has it set up right now. As soon as you walk in the door and sign your name, here's your $750. Get your food. Get your
Trump's
medicine.
Got all his acolytes on TV saying all this shit. unchallenged on Fox News. I know they've been challenged on CNN and other.
But it's not really news. It's like watching Comedy Central. Like it's not. It's just a content network.
So,
After they lost that kind of like they were able to keep the name Fox News, but they had to kind of let people
pay
know
a lot of money to Dominion voting machines.
Yeah, that didn't help them either after. But they're known as opinion now. So some people will still kind of like abuse it, like, oh well, that's not real news. But everyone knows Fox is not legitimate. Like it's the local Fox affiliates are all great. Like my Fox 32 here in Chicago, they do great reporting because they report on things that are here. It's just when you get to that Fox cable channel,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just the rich people who pretend like they're part of this.
Right, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize there was a good Fox and a bad Fox. I thought it was just all just Murdoch.
Yeah, local Fox. No, local Fox is great. And those studios have been around since, the beginning of TV. Like these are the same Foxes, and then this larger conglomerate thing and all this media empire came after.
Yeah.
Go support your local news. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Well,
better than regular Fox.
Yeah. So we discussed before, like, obviously I've talked about my concern about, what's going to happen with the election in terms of the judges that Trump has put in place, and also the election officials who are going to be, counting the votes, but they're MAGA, which worries me. But this woman, Tina Peters, in Colorado, she's just gone down for 9 years, and the judge pulled no punches when he was giving her this sentence, and she was in tears. She was expecting a slap on the wrist. She was expecting a little tap on the head, probation. You've been a good little MAGA. You go on now doing your thing. And she's like, I'm a middle-aged, middle-class white woman. How can this happen to me? And this is a very good point. Like, what MAGA is planning to do is illegal, and there's no two ways about it. And they can hope that they get a MAGA judge, but that's only a 1 in 3 chance.
And who's to say that judge won't go up for review?
Yeah,
all of y'all got bosses. Keep it up. Keep it up. You will be prosecuted this time.
Do you think Eileen Cannon is gonna?
They made it very clear before the ballots started going out, and all of a sudden it's like, you will be prosecuted for tampering with this election. Just know. Homegirl just got 9 years, and she was heavily loved by Trump and the whole thing. So, see you in the what election will that be? See you in 2032, maybe. Maybe we'll see you in the midterms for 34.
Wow.
I bet you won't do that again. Like everyone's tired of this. Like that stuff is that is.
I know I am.
That's a friggin' crime. And then like all this like harassing poll workers and stuff like that. Try that shit this round. Try it.
Yeah.
All of y'all are gonna be filled. We're gonna fill up your little prison to your little pipelines that you have for all the inner city schools. It's gonna be full of MAGA people. Yeah. Because if you have a legitimate gripe about elections, there are channels to challenge. You have to do it within the rule set. Stealing votes and disrupting people's lives and doing all that. You can try that shit at your own risk. Yeah. No one is playing this game this time.
Yeah.
We're fixing things normally. We're going to just go a normal pace, like a regular freaking country before COVID, before everyone lost their brain.
I love that. We're going to pretend we're a normal country. Everyone just be normal.
We're going to love each other. You understand me? Everybody.
Just calm the fuck down. Chris C, thank you so much for the super chat. According to PBS, the Bible is required to be incorporated into every lesson, not just English literature and history, apparently. Teachers who refuse will lose their license to teach. Oh my God. This is like the Stone Age coming back with a vengeance. Puninator, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Not only is there a good and bad Fox, Graham, but there's also a fantastic Mr. Fox. By the way, anyone know what the Fox says? Or should I say, does anyone know what does the Fox say? Sorry for the unfunnies. So I thought that was quite funny, Puninator. Thank you very much. So, good Foxes, Michael J, Jamie, Meghan, maybe, at a push. Bad foxes, Lawrence, Claire, and Fox News. You got anything to add to that? Do you know any other bad foxes, good foxes?
Oh, sorry. I was reading.
Fox Mulder, he was a good fox.
He is a great fox. Fox McCloud.
Yep.
Michael J. Fox.
I said Michael J. I threw him in there. We were trying to think of some more foxes while I read out the super chat forms. George. Thank you very much, sir. A scary proportion of Trump sheep know what Trump is about. Yeah. That's just like, yeah, they don't care. We can say, oh my God, have you seen this latest thing that this nut has done? And they're like, yeah, they can. It's like, you know, when one of your mates has just fallen for someone and they just can't see anything wrong with them, and yet everyone else can. Everyone else is like, I said Jamie Foxx. I said Michael J. I said Jamie, and I said Megan at a push. Megan Fox, she was all right, wasn't she? 20 years ago.
I liked her.
Yeah, she was all right.
Transformers.
She's good in that. And Jennifer's Body, was she in? But that was good. I enjoyed that. Maggie Pie, how do you incorporate the Bible in maths? Well, I'm glad you asked, Maggie
going
Pie.
back to everything. Forget the imperial system. We're going back to qubits.
Well, in the Bible, it does actually say that pi is 3, not 3.141, etc. Random numbers forever.
Undeniable proof.
So yeah, if you try and build things using the proportions of the Bible, you probably won't get very far. There's also the number of the beast, which is 666, or 616, depending on the translation.
Do you skip that page? Do they just go to 667?
I think so.
Like an elevators, you know?
Elevators in the States, elevators in the UK generally have a 13. It's like all the other countries just put a 13 in. Although if it's a US-made lift, they miss out 13. And that's not a superstition thing, you know. It's just to make your building sound taller. That's also why in the UK our ground floor is called the ground floor, and the first floor is called the first floor. In America, the ground floor is the first floor. It's to make your building sound bigger, because Americans are obsessed with the size of their erections. Maggie Pie, thank you very much for the 20 euro super. Sorry, not euros. Swedish krona. 20 Swedish krona. Thank you very much. How do you incorporate the Bible in STEM subjects? Well, you know,
very, very simply. You
today
just
we're going to
go
build an
2 by 2.
Yeah.
2 by 2. They all went in there. Never mind the methane.
Yeah.
From the poop.
Or the carnivores that needed to eat the other animals. Or all the food you would need. Yeah. Or the fact that not all the mating couples could have mated. I was like, there's like an illustration, isn't there, of like 2 lions getting onto the ark, and they're both male lions because they've got the mane. The males have got the mane.
Thank you.
Drop me pen. So you know they're gonna have a good time on the ark, I'm sure. You know, when at sea, as they
pillaging the rest of the ark
as kings of the ark,
feasting on the hippos for days.
How to put together a cross, I guess. I don't know if Jesus did that as part of his job, but it would be ironic if he did. He was a carpenter. Try arithmetic with Roman numerals. That's a good point. Yeah, how are you going to do that? That's quite interesting.
But they're afraid of Romans.
Sorry?
But they were afraid of Romans.
Are they? I don't know. Roman Catholics maybe
after the spear thing.
Oh yeah. He did get speared, didn't he, when he was on the cross?
Italian.
Yeah, I think they were just checking if he was done. You know, like when you're making a roast dinner and you just sort of stick a fork in it. I think that was it. Don Kay says police stations in the UK used to have issues where prisoners injured themselves falling down the stairs when there was only a ground floor. Yes, indeed. Very simply, 2 by 2, as in Noah's Ark. Lessons in science denial, says Russell Cannon. Yes, well, that's obviously what would come from trying to learn science from the Bible. Because instead of going, oh, we evolved from single-celled amoebas over billions of years, we obviously were just made by a wizard one afternoon. And women were made out of the fella's rib. And then they had kids, and then the kids had kids somehow without it being incestuous. I don't know how it worked.
Why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it
That's
be
kind of like,
incestuous?
yeah, that's kind of the thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't
That's
know.
their thing.
I don't know. It just seemed to me like a bunch of fairy stories from the Bronze Age. But you know what do I know? I've only got like the whole internet, which is the whole of human knowledge at my fingertips. If I should wish to ever read things up. Everyone only one cross, Graham. Follow the Midas Touch to keep informed about the US elections, says Hashbury. I'm thinking of making a video about the Midas Touch because I do watch it, but I find like that they always have these headlines saying like Trump is being boiled alive, and then you watch the video and like some pundit on some TV show said, "Yeah, I don't like Trump," and you're like, when does the boiling start? I thought it was going to be the
Harris being suspended above a volcano.
No, it's just
Just kidding. She was flying somewhere that was over.
They like their hyperbole. What can I say? They really do like their hyperbole. So yeah,
I'm not gonna hate on them. They're cool. I know some of them.
So is for the MAGA crowd, is Elon Musk the acceptable face of immigration?
And since when do I start taking advice from South African billionaires? That guy can go home.
Yeah, well, you know, he's not just a South African billionaire. He's a South African billionaire who went to a private school in Pretoria during apartheid. So, you know, possibly a bit racist. I don't know. His dad owned a small emerald mine. A small emerald.
Just a very small one.
Yeah. Almost as small as the small loan that Trump's father gave him to get himself started in his bankruptcies, of which he's had 6. I'm just saying policing duty of candour has improved in the UK, USA not so much, plus Hillsborough law in April, which is really good news. Yeah, law of candour in the UK is coming very soon. Maggie Pye says you need to read some creationist biology papers. They're entertaining. No, I did back in the day. I thought this was all quite interesting, and I read up about it because I thought that the creationists were just hilarious. I still do, but they seem a bit more dangerous now than they were. So, Mikey, next thing I want to talk about is the economy. Wake up, everyone. Yeah. I'm talking about the economy. This is the exciting bit. So, economic numbers came out this week in America, and it seems like, I don't know, over 400,000 of you have found jobs in a month. Yeah. That's pretty goddamn amazing. I think that is the best unemployment or employment stat in the month before an election in American history. Do you think it's going to make a difference?
Towards the election, the employment numbers, it's all about that. Like, it's all about that. What they used to call like the take home, right? It's your take home pay. Like, how does all of this stuff really affect you? Are Americans working? Yes, definitely yes. Too much, to the point now we're all overworked and underpaid. So yes, the economy is strong, but we're not really feeling the good side of the economy right now. Like, we're kind of being used as the fuel for all of this. So the move for like the tax on tips, which is really, like, if you guys think that you're gonna, we're like, oh, we're not gonna tax overtime, like that's what Trump said. They're just gonna ban overtime. They're just not gonna,
of course they are.
They're just gonna get rid of it. And you just get paid a regular amount all the time.
All the time. Like a regular amount, which isn't enough to actually live on. And that's why so many Americans have their wages supplemented by money from the taxpayer, because Walmart doesn't want to pay them a fair wage.
And I think enough Americans are starting to kind of get the program that when we subsidize Walmart, we are subsidizing Walmart. Like, when you allow them into your city, because there was a lot of people who fought the Walmarts coming in and who fought Amazon coming in, because they do one thing: consume. They will take all of your workers, not just the workers who don't have anything to do and they're just going to push car. They will take the guy who normally fixes bikes or something like that. So, like a small shop guy. Well, if he can go be a department head at Walmart, changing oil, and he makes, $20 an hour, which is nowhere near what it should be, but he gets benefits, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's a
He might
much
not
better bargain
die
for
if he
him.
has a small infection
And
or
it's
asthma.
just it's a better bargain for the people in a worse situation. So the
Yeah.
Walmart comes in as this hero. Meanwhile, they're not providing enough pay, and they definitely are not going to let those workers unionize. Like
Well,
that's the problem. When ununionized work,
yes.
labor shows up and just sucks up all the workers, and then they just kind of scab their way to success, i.e., Amazon, Walmart, you name it.
Well, Elon Musk. Well, they call him Leon. Then Leon Musk. He's not a fan of unions. Talking of unions, someone mentioned that the port strike. The port workers have suspended their strike till after the elections. That's not going to have as much of an impact as maybe the Republicans hoped that it would. But it's interesting what you're saying there. Are you say do you think that people aren't really going to vote on the economy because they're not feeling it? They're not. It's no good telling people that they're better off unless they're feeling it. They're not going to be. Because one of the things I keep hearing again and again in the vox pops that you see of people saying, why are you voting for this monster? Why are you voting for this rapist? And they'll say, because I think he's good on the economy. I think he was great when he was last in power. And I'm like, he left the economy in absolute tatters.
They have no idea what the question means.
Right.
And that's not their fault, but they're being asked a question as if they're reasonably equipped to answer it. Their individual circumstance has nothing to do with the economy in that way. Like it's not, well, gas was cheaper under. Yeah, there was also a pandemic and Saudi and you know what I mean? Like there's other things that influence the gas prices other than Trump was sitting on his ass, or actually not sitting on his ass. He was in a golf cart in Florida for half of his fucking presidency, unless y'all forgot about that. And you
Yep.
guys paid for all that too, by
Yep.
the way. All that extra Secret Service that went to Mar-a-Lago that he, they have to,
They
every time he went out, they stayed in his
yeah. They
hotels.
stayed in his
They got the nicest
hotels.
rooms and they
This is
would
the
get room
thing.
service.
Didn't foreign
This dude is a
delegates
grifter.
didn't foreign delegates and dignitaries when they
Yeah.
came over? He put them up in his hotel, didn't he? And then he charged the taxpayer to put him up in the Washington Trump Hotel.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like
He's broke, dude. I keep trying to explain it. If you have money, you don't do this stuff because you already have money. You just spend your time spending your money.
I think
spends his time trying to grift harder.
I think he's just obsessed with the hustle and the lies. Like that's his life. That's his entire life is the hustle.
He's got to pay these lawyers right now, Graham. That's what everyone keeps forgetting. I know the court stuff is boring, but it is huge, and that's the other part of my October surprise is a more detailed version of Jack Smith's report came out, and it lays out the actual pillars of the case for the public. And it was very important that Judge Chutkin let this report come out before people voted, because he's not going to do I think the next portion of his case is until after the election. But so this is the last piece of info that people get about the New York or about the DC insurrection case.
Do you think it's going to have any mark difference on the actual, the polling at the end of the day, or the results, I should say, of the election next month? Do you think it's really going to have any effect? I mean, surely, like, everyone's made their mind up about Trump by now. Like, are there really that many people who are like, I haven't decided yet whether this man is a monster or the Messiah? Because there doesn't seem to be anything in between. So
for the few reasonable Republicans that still remain out there,
a few.
this is damning. Few. And for anybody who considers himself a moderate, this is horribly damning, because this isn't just, the Democrats don't like him, so they made some things up. Oh no, brother. This is step by step. Here's what you have been up to. So it's in 4 sections. I downloaded it. You can Politico has a really good link. Section 1 provides a detailed statement of the case that the government intends to prove at trial. So just saying these are what we're talking about. Number 2 sets forth the legal principles governing claims of presidential immunity. All of the claims of presidential immunity. And then section 3 then applies those legal principles to the defendant's conduct and establishes that nothing the government intends to present to the jury is protected by immunity. And the biggest thing about that is because he is not working in his official capacity at that point. He was working in his candidate capacity. He was candidate Trump.
Yeah.
not President Trump. If he
Yeah.
was President Trump, he would have just walked on back to the White House and sat in his chair and waited for, the next thing. But no, he had all these alternate schemes and all these plans. He was acting as if he was still trying to win the election, not as if he had won the election. So his defense will be his own undoing. If he had won the election, he would have just waited for the courts to decide that he was a victor. But instead, he tried to abscond the law to go above and below the law, honestly, to get what he wanted. Then it says, finally, Section 4 explains the court should make in a single order, namely that the defendant's conduct set forth in Section 1 is not immunized, and that as a result, the defendant must stand trial to the superseding indictment. It's thorough. It's thorough, and it's easy for anyone to understand.
But
it's a little long, but
yeah,
it's big gaps, and there's a lot of redactions and stuff like that and links. So it's probably 40 pages in like regular people.
Do you know? So first of all, I mean, where Kamala seems to really be breaking through is with college graduates. Have you seen her figures for college graduates? They've shot up by like nearly 20%. Like it's like an insane number compared with how much college graduates Biden got, how many college graduate Obama got. She's getting way more, but
I think
she is losing support amongst the Hispanic populations in a lot of places who like Trump for some daft reason. He wouldn't piss on a Hispanic person if they were on fire, and they'll say, "But
we can't assume that all Hispanic people are a monolith." Number one,
yes, I know that.
So the voters that Trump is picking up are Mexican voters, and those Mexican voters are not as aligned, or they're not as aligned with everything you would think of a Hispanic. Like, people vote the way that they vote. Counties and states vote their own way. Like, Mexicans in Illinois are very different than Mexicans in Florida or Texas.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was just gonna mention the way he treats people from Mexico is not very
this
good.
Is helping
That's my point.
This is going with it. So when you offer people that you have previously talked shit on, a new person to hate, maybe somebody that they don't like. Like, hey, maybe your family member is trying to come over here from Mexico. Look at these guys from Nicaragua over here jumping the freaking line. So now they have a common enemy to hate.
Nicaragua.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah, and Honduras, because, Iran Contra, we kind of disrupted the entire Central and South American power dynamics by just meddling. And now those people are fleeing horrible cartels and their own governments in some cases, who are murdering their college kids. So they're fleeing the country.
Well, it's also the fact that those cartels are absolutely 100% propped up by American money buying the drugs.
Oh yeah.
Like, if there's no market for cocaine, those cartels would have no money. Full stop. They wouldn't exist.
So when we tried to legalize weed federally, just so that it just takes that away from the cartel, they don't have that weed money anymore.
Yeah.
Well, then everybody's gonna be crashing their cars. Yep, it's gonna be dangerous on the road. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Budweiser family built their like 45th distillation plant. Like, it doesn't work. And and as far as the college kids go, her stance on October 7th and beyond is much changed than Biden. She talks more about the ceasefire and the two-state solution versus Biden's unrelenting, unwavering bear hug of have as many bombs as you can hold. So a change on that stance might have helped with the younger people, because they've never seen, they weren't around for Iraq and Afghanistan, right? They just heard us talk about it and stuff like that. This happened on TikTok before anybody could even tell them what war was. They don't forgive us. Yeah. They don't forgive him. They don't forgive anybody.
Yeah.
And that's on us.
So, but you think Kamala's doing better on that front then?
I think she is. And
amongst voters, young voters especially, and Arab American voters who might be pissed off about what's happening, quite rightly pissed off about what's happening in the Middle East.
because it shows and people say she's a flip flopper. She's malleable, which is good
Yeah.
because you need to be able to, as a voting populace, to be able to control what that person, his or her course of action. If you want someone who's just going to be a stubborn dictator and do that at your own behest. Good luck in 4 years getting rid of them. Like they need to be able to listen to. I will feed you shortly. They have to be able to listen to what their residents are saying and respond accordingly.
Yeah.
She knows that Joe Biden's policy is dead ass wrong as far as the polls go. It's not working. You need to do something else. He won't do it, but she's VP and she can't say anything. So when she does get a chance to say something, it may not be a ton of distance, but it's as much as she can afford to do while still being the vice president.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's American politics.
Well, it's politics. It's politics. Politics is the art of compromise. That's it. Unfortunately, Trump doesn't know the meaning of the word compromise, and he is going to, if he wins, he's going to lead America into an absolute bloody cavalcade of misery. Which he's going to start off by, there's two older people, isn't there, in the Supreme Court that he's going to replace with young people or people in their 40s or maybe their 50s. And that means that the shape of the American legislature judiciary for the next 40 years is going to be MAGA Republican lunatics who think that women shouldn't have agency over their own bodies. No. The state needs to step in and make sure that those women who have been raped by their fathers bring their father's incestuous, rape child to term. That's their belief. And it's horrible.
But these are the same distinguished fine gentlemen whose wise wisdom also asked the idiotic question, well, can't she just swallow a pill like a camera, so then you can just take a look at the baby that way?
Who asked that? Who asked that?
I'll have to find the clip for you. It's from a few years back. But they don't even understand the pipes and plumbing of the situation, yet they think that they can make a medical decision better than an actual physician.
Yes.
Okay. Vote for it at your own peril.
Yeah. And there's going to be medical decisions made by judges in the future for people, which is just... What?
Because when you go after abortion, what you're really going after is medically safe abortion.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're just going to harm young girls as they harm themselves, as they try to fit into this weird cookie cutter mold that their parents are trying to pour them into. Yeah. Like kids they make mistakes, they do things that are wrong, and we all live with the consequences. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you don't let the kid do medical things to themselves because they're in such a toxic culture that they'd rather risk it than upset me. Like if for my dog, I'd rather like that. What kind of place are we in that they'd rather risk it doing it themselves than to come to their parents and figure out what to do?
Yeah. You're right.
That's where
I was going to mention as well, judges, not just they're going to be making more medical decisions thanks to the Republicans, but they're also now making decisions on regulatory agreements across America, regulatory rules that should be carried out by scientists, by experts in the field, but are not anymore. Yeah, that's being taken off them and given to some judge who doesn't know a thing about science. But probably knows the Ten Commandments like the back of their hands. Not that they
they probably don't know that either.
Well, one of the Ten Commandments is that you shouldn't commit adultery, which we know Trump has. Another one is that you should not kill. I think that includes sending a mob to kill people in the Capitol building. So yeah, I mean, he shouldn't do that, but he did that as well. I think.
That's in Jack Smith's report when they said the riot. Or Mike Pence is in trouble. What should we do? He's like, who cares?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, who fucking cares?
Yeah, but Mike Pence is such a spineless weasel. He hasn't come out and said,
"Hey, that's Captain America. How dare you?" Mike Pence saved America.
I'm voting for Kamala. He hasn't said it.
Who won't? Who proud?
I'm totally interrupting Mikey's dinner here. Andrew Ray says the Cuban Hispanics know that the Republicans will keep the embargo and accept all Cubans who step foot on the US beach, get citizenship, and join the anti-Castro masses in Florida. Yeah. Fidel Castro has been dead for a long time, though, so what? And the Cold War is over. But yes, still not allowable if you've been to Cuba. You can no longer get a electronic travel authorization for visiting America, and that's a lifetime ban, by the way. Once you, not you, you've got an American passport. Once I step foot in Canada, that's it, lifelong ban for just going to America. Which is not much fun. Next week, Mikey, I'm going to be in London. I've got an appointment at the American Embassy to try and.
Great band there.
No, I'm going to try and get a visa to go to America, and I don't want to. And I think they might ask me, like, "Do you really want to go to America?" And I might be honest and say no, not really. So if you say no to me, I'm not asked. But can I have my money back?
Just tell them that there's a greater than 0% chance of you running into Taylor Swift, so you're willing to make the risk.
Yeah, just in case I see Taylor. But yes. Number 3 says, here's the combined version, thou shalt not commit necrophilia. Well, no, there's a big thing in the first few commandments of the Bible of not being vain and boastful. Which is funny because Trump is nothing but vain and boastful.
How about coveting?
Yeah, he does covet all the time. He's jealous of everyone. Yeah, he loves. He has broken every single one of them. Idols, false idols. Don't worship idols. That's a big thing in the 10 Commandments. And he is obsessed with idols. I mean, he creates NFTs, for Christ's sake, of himself. Someone said in the chat,
thumbnails.
I was going to put this out, but someone said he's set up as a WWE baddie. He's basically a villain from the the World Wrestling Enterprises, is it now? Used to be Federation when I was a kid.
Entertainment.
Yeah, World Wrestling Entertainment. And that's what he is. I mean, the people supporting him and helping him worked for WWE in the past, and they've set him up as this, super villain that people just love to hate. But he's so dangerous that I just don't find him funny. It's not good. It's not good. But yeah, do you we're gonna have to wrap up in a few minutes, so I'll let you eat your food. But before you go, so next month, are we going to see a repeat of 2020 where we are waiting weeks and weeks and weeks? Well, not weeks and weeks, but we're waiting quite a long time for the results to fully be tabulated and released.
For Georgia, yes. Because Georgia, at the last minute, they now are mandated by law, their own law, hand count every vote.
5.5 million votes, folks. Hand counted.
And who's paying for that?
The taxpayer.
Their citizens.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that, like, the Republicans will learn that their little stunts of lesser government are expensive.
They are the party of fiscal responsibility, Mikey, and I won't have anything said otherwise.
Well, they used to be.
Fiscal responsibility.
Until all the wars started, and then they were like, except for the war. The war is a blank check, and then everything else is fiscal responsibility. So we're tightening it up around here so that the war can go on. And everybody went for it for a little bit, but once we realized we were just genociding other people, then we decided that, we're done with that.
Yeah.
And the money dried up.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it?
But when it comes, what's happening?
Why is it that when it comes to helping Americans, especially young Americans, get on in life, the government is like, no, we can't give any money. That's wrong. But when they are helping young Iraqis to have democracy, no expense can be spared. Possibly,
the freedom flows.
We're helping you have democracy, my friend. With a bomb,
flows like water.
Indeed. Super Tiny 808 is saying Trump took Ivanka to a Diddy party. Did he now?
Would not surprise me. here we go.
A freak out. What?
Here we go. We think a batch of votes heavily in Biden's favor is right. P5 responded. This is from the report.
Yeah.
Find a reason it isn't. Give me a reason to give me options to file litigation. And if it, oh God, this is crazy. If it is, I guess that was a space. If it is, when the colleague suggested that there was about to be unrest reminiscent of the Brooks Brothers riot, a violent effort to stop the vote count in Florida after 2000 presidential election, P5 responded, make them riot and do it. And those are in quotes.
Do we know who P5 is?
I know you have a guess.
Yeah, which is that the name begins with P and it has 5 letters.
Palin.
Putin. That's what I reckon.
Putin. It has attacked us.
Yes, the Canadians have come down with their Putin.
Yeah.
Who is P5? What's the word on the street for who P5 is?
I can Google it, but I think it's Cohen.
Really? No.
I gotta.
No, he was out. He was out by then. This was 2020, wasn't it? Or the end of 2019.
The date on this one is November 7th, so it's got to be 2020.
Oh shit! I said January the 6th, 2020, didn't I? It's 2021.
And I didn't fix it.
It was 2021. Sorry, everyone who was watching 40 minutes ago. I made a huge boo-boo. It wasn't 2020. It was 2021. There you go. The election was in 2020.
So when there was no one there and there was like thousands of people, they're like, stop the steal. That would actually be fun.
Yeah. Maggie says, why is hand counting in Georgia even freaking necessary? What are they trying to achieve? They think that the Democrat votes are going to come in slower than the Republican votes. So what you're going to have is Trump ahead in the votes as the votes are being, announced as it goes on. And then they're going to get to a point where they don't want to have to wait for all the votes to come in because Kamala might pull ahead of Trump. And so they'll want to stop the count, which is something that they were screaming at the 2020 election. Stop the count, except in places where Trump was behind, where they turned up the same group, turned up in a different polling station saying, keep counting. But
never mind the fact that Georgia had horribly crooked elections back in 2020, except for that Marjorie Taylor Greene won her election.
Yes.
There was no voter fraud in her election,
yes,
which also took place in that same state.
Yeah.
But on the same ticket, the top of the ballot was a problem. Her, a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
It was fine. That part of the ballot was not fraudulent. It worked great. Thank you guys for your support. But all the rest of these other buttons, there's some problems with them.
And just to be clear, if Kamala rings up the governor of Georgia and asks for 10,780 more votes, that's perfectly legal, isn't it? Because she's doing it in her capacity as the vice president.
Yeah, well, she's a candidate, and candidates are allowed to do that, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Which everybody and their mother knows. You are not allowed to call secretaries of state if you are running for friggin' election. Like that is the fact that he even called him is crazy. Yeah. Just the call is wrong.
Well, the
presence or the to appear improper is just that used to be the line where you wouldn't even dare to call that person for fear of impropriety.
Trump has no fear.
He called him and tried to dog him out on the phone for 45 minutes.
It's too stupid to have fear.
I would have hung up if I was him. But I think a lot more election officials are hanging up.
Yeah.
They're not going to sit on the phone with this crazy man for the rest of the... Man, I've been here since 6. I ain't had no breaks. I'm going to bed. Screw you. I'm out of here. No one's playing this. Let's see how far we can bend democracy game this time around.
Do you think? I think they're going to try it.
Fuck around and
I think they're stupid enough to try it, mate. I really do. And what the plan is to stop the count before they're all counted, and get the US Supreme Court to back up that decision of that particular state or jurisdiction or whatever, and say, stop the count because our boy is in the lead, which is exactly what the Supreme Court did in December 2000. However, that time round, Al Gore said, it's all right, I'll stand aside because I don't want America to fall apart. I don't think Kamala's going to stand aside if Trump pulls the same sort of shenanigans.
And again, even if he wins, he's gonna go to jail. You're not gonna be able to pardon yourself, homie. You're gonna go to jail, and then JD Vance is gonna be president, and we're gonna impeach him for all his BS he tries with Project 2025, and we'll be right back at the same situation we were at before. Ain't nobody scared of y'all. You can't have this country for free. You don't get to misbehave and get a whole free nation for it. No, you misbehaved, and now you're gonna get your pants pulled down, and you're gonna get spanked. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The adults are back in the room.
Before we go as well, I just want to mention Nebraska's and Maine have got this weird thing where they can actually send two different votes.
Partial
vote. They can put the partial vote for one party and a partial vote for another. Instead of all of their electoral college votes going to the one candidate, they can split it. The Republicans in Nebraska are trying to get crazy fast trying to get this changed before the election. I think they've run out of time now, but
no.
they were trying to get it changed.
And I know a couple of Nebraskans, they absolutely love that because they say, fine, you farmers, you guys want to vote for whatever is literally directly opposed to your well-being, go for it. We're not voting for it over here. So the big cities like Omaha, who the Omaha girls just broke the world record for most people to watch a volleyball game. Remember that? Like, that's what they're about over there. They're not. Yes, they are out there in Nebraska, but they are still a very progressive and forward-thinking people, even if their politics don't represent that fully due to the Electoral College. But they tried that abortion thing out there. How'd that go? Sent them fools home packing. Good luck, everybody. Yeah. The women have spoken. Yeah, it's the year of fuck around and find out. Y'all finding out.
It's hopefully, because if they do win this election, then they're never going to find out, are they? They're just going to keep fucking everyone around for the rest of our lives, essentially, especially if they put their own people into the Supreme Court. They put people younger than me in the Supreme Court, then Trump gets 5 picks. 5 picks he'll have.
It's a dangerous thing to overthrow a democracy. He should probably pump his brakes. Like, it's not. I don't think he has the numbers to do it. And the noise he's making right now lets me know that he doesn't think he does either. There's a reason why there's like civil wars and all this stuff for all these countries, because people try this. This is the shit they try. You know what I mean? They attempt to whip up this imagined thing. Like, it doesn't always, like, most wars don't always have to start for a legitimate reason. It can be a misunderstanding. It can be a group of fanatics that kind of take people over that tipping point. We're not even at the tipping point, and this asshole is trying to pull us that 1 inch over the tipping point, and there's a huge mountain in front of him.
Do you not think that you're that close with the number of people who are going to vote for this monster? I mean, they know he's a rapist. They know he's a monster. They know that he wants to take rights away from women. He knows that he wants to bring in this, I think he's already done it in 26 states, a rapist charter, where basically if you rape a woman, the suffering of that woman, if you get her pregnant, is not going to end ever for the rest of her life. And this is what he's flying around in a paedophile's plane, busy mates with a man, America's most notorious paedophile, who conveniently died in a jail cell. Oh, sorry, Trump voting cat there. You're right.
Yeah, the garage door open. My wife is home.
Oh no! Does the cat get a shot?
She lives here. Like, he's like, I have to see her right away.
Yeah, well, cat's gonna do what cat's gonna do. But yeah, I mean, like, I worry that if Trump wins, then all bets are off, really, for what they can do, the damage they can do in the next few years. And I think that he will stay on until the day he dies. That might not be very long, but then JD Vance takes over.
Again, like, ain't nobody scared of this dude. Like, and let's not forget also in Georgia that they have like, what is it, almost 1 million Indian people there, and he can't keep his mouth shut about Kamala's heritage. Like, keep it, like, if they want to sandbag their election, hey, who am I to stop them at this point?
Yeah,
she can just keep giving out the same bullet points she's been giving out. You'll see.
I do find it like just darkly amusing that you had Elon Musk at the weekend saying, if you vote for the Democrats, then that's the end of democracy. And I'm like, it's literally the other way around. Anyway.
The emperor has no clothes, man. The emperor has no clothes.
Yeah. I hope this time next year, both Musk and Trump are in jail. Could happen.
I don't know what Elon's done to go to jail yet, but
I agree. He's conned investors out of millions of dollars. How's the Tesla Roadster going? He took loads and loads of orders for this car 6 years ago. Took, I don't know, it was 50 grand each, was it, for the deposits on this car?
The pre-order.
That he still hasn't bloody made. It's a Hyperloop, that was a load of bollocks, and he just keeps doing these things, and people throw money at him, and then he just walks off into the sunset with the money.
That's because he's like, him and Trump are the same dude, but they're just separate. Like, one's the boomer version and one's the Gen X version.
Yeah.
It's a snake oil salesman that sometimes is right.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the snake oil actually cures whatever was wrong with the person. Sometimes it's right. Okay. But it doesn't work for everything. It doesn't work always.
Yeah.
And that's the bare bones behind it.
We're going to have to leave it at that, Mikey. But before we go, I just want to say as well, Trump, from being very, very anti-cryptocurrency, is now saying that he wants to make Bitcoin the legal tender of America, essentially. So, top tip: if Trump does win this election, God, I hope he doesn't. If you want to make some quick money, invest in Bitcoin. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but with the US government behind it, the value of Bitcoin will go through the roof. Because he wants to buy millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin from the Federal Reserve.
Good thing he'll be nowhere near those buttons. Jesus, what an idiot.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't the guy who set up Bitcoin a Chinese guy who no one knows who it is?
What?
The guy who set up Bitcoin. He was a Chinese guy, wasn't he? No one knows who it was.
I don't know.
Seems like handing it over the American economy to some random Chinese person. Oh well.
I mean, they own most of our stuff anyway.
What a weird way of America losing the Cold War. All right, mate. Well, listen, thanks very much for coming on. Are you about on Friday? On Friday?
I shall be about.
Oh, brilliant. Come on the Politics Social. Uncle Phil will be here in the morning at 9:30 with Morning Brew. And I will be back tomorrow evening with Ollie Bowler Hatman for Geoscope, talking about all the mad shit that's happened around the world this last week. There's been a lot of it. Oh, he's Japanese, so everyone's chatting Japanese at me. Okay, it's a random Japanese person that no one knows who they are. I'm still convinced he's put a back door in every single, Bitcoin that is out there, or bit of a Bitcoin that's out there.
Why would he do that?
So we can just take all the money one day. So you just gotta see you later. When Bitcoin's worth several $1 trillion, he'll just go, transfer all that money into my bank account. Thank you very much. And now the world's first multi-trillionaire. See you later. I'm off to buy a yacht.
So if you ever want to be a trillionaire with me, you can help me with my designs to go mine asteroids in the asteroid belt.
Yes.
There's entire asteroids made of palladium.
But won't that bring down the price of palladium? And then you'll have to buy a vault in Switzerland or Amsterdam where you keep all this palladium so that no one can get the palladium. So people don't
you're talking about lowering the price, but who cares if I own 80% of it?
That's cool. What are you going to do? Are you going to mine it, or are you just going to strap the asteroid to the back of a rocket and pull it back to Earth?
Well, I mean, that would be intellectual property, and that's what we can talk about in our investor meeting. So if you
Okay,
want to just
cool.
put down the
Yeah.
$50,000, and
Okay, and
then
we'll go and do a bit of deep space
we'll
asteroid
do a we'll do a
towing.
Zoom call.
Maybe that's what took out the
Yeah.
dinosaurs. Maybe they were deep space mining and they towed an asteroid back to the Yucatan and they accidentally lost control of it on the re-entry.
Really cool stuff. They found a crater filled with ice in Antarctica. And they're
Okay.
just trying to figure out how to get to the bottom of it because there might be water at the bottom of it. And I'm like, that's where the zombies are. That's a zombie apocalypse. There's a pocket of water that has been closed off from everything for like 120 million years. And they want to
Cool.
go in there and see what's in there. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll find
zombies,
some novel viruses.
zombies are in there. This is a zombie plague. Okay.
Number 3 is telling me it's open source code. Yes. And
Sure it is.
sure it is. Yeah. The open source that they allow you to see. Anyway, Mikey, thank you very much for joining us on the show this evening. Sorry?
Keep your eyes out for bears. Keep your eyes out for bears out there, everybody.
Bears and killer whales. Goddamn orcas.
Orcas.
Jumping out the Great Lakes and smacking you in the head. Anyway,
All
right.
day.
Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you for everything. And give us a like if you like the show on the way out. And until next time, from me and Mikey, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye.